Hey, what's going on, party people? Just wanted to do a quick video. If you hear some noise, that's probably airplanes. I'm down here on the ocean front of Virginia Beach, getting ready to go into a signing. I got it be at 10, but I decided to get on down here a little early and everything. Since I'm full time now. I'm still trying to get used to the traffic, so I don't know what the traffic flow is in some of these areas. So I don't want to take a chance and end up getting to my appointment late. I just wanted to do this video real quick. Y'all know how I start talking, but one of the things I think we need to get, I guess, for those notaries in cold areas or areas that can get cold, you're probably going to have to start calling your customers back, or double checking before the appointment to ensure that they're going to let you come in the house. This week alone, I've had, and probably actually started last Saturday, at least 4 times where the client, once I got there, they're like, oh, we're not going to go inside, we're going to do it outside, and it's 30-some degrees outside. That is not a comfortable situation to be in, because you're there to do the closing. You're thinking you're going inside, and then they're like, oh no, we're going to be outside. And then you're on an uncomfortable bench, you're on uncomfortable chairs, or some cases they don't even have any chairs or anything. And of course you could bring it, but then like in some of the cases, like one time it was like 8:30 at night, and the guy was like, we're gonna sit on the front porch. And I'm like, okay, it's cold and there's no room on the front porch. I'm trying to, understand, and all I can say is I wound up going inside, but let's just say there was a serious lack of raid in that home. Okay, I'm gonna just say it like that. There was a serious lack of raid in that home, and certain elements that got more than 2 legs understood that and was all over the place. Sorry about that, y'all. Turn that down. So I understood, but at the same time it was nighttime, and even if I had my table, it would have been impossible to do a closing virtually in the dark. And I know there's some notaries who will do them, but I mean, I didn't have any gear, and I don't think it would have just been safe. I've had other people, I actually got taken off of one because I was concerned about, being outside in the cold. And my thing is this, and I'm talking this out to y'all because y'all are fellow notaries, and maybe y'all can help me, because if I'm wrong in my thought process, comment, okay? Comment, let me know. But here's what I'm concerned about. We got COVID-19, and I know that's the reason why a lot of people are like, nah, I don't want you to come in the house because of COVID. I don't want to catch COVID. Okay, I got that. The problem is, all of the medical professionals have said one of the ways COVID kicks off in your body is if you have a weakened immune system. Well, sitting in 30-degree weather or sitting outside in any type of cold weather for a prolonged period of time can weaken your immune system. Some people like me, if I sleep under the air condition, I wake up sniffles and all of that. So I'm trying to figure out, how is it beneficial to sit outside in 30-degree weather with a 5 to 10 to maybe 15-degree wind blowing, which then drops the wind chill factor down, and I'm out here for an hour, you're out here for an hour, and in most cases when we're outside, we're closer than 6 feet because the porches and some of those areas don't have enough space. So I'm on a porch, I'm less than 6 feet from you, it's cold. Even if I have gloves on, it's hard to try to write with the gloves legibly. And all of this, and that's the part that I'm trying to, in my mind, I'm thinking that doesn't make sense. Now, somebody here might say, oh, well, no, this is how it makes sense. And please, help me understand, because I just don't get it. especially if you're following the CDC guidelines with the mask, the gloves, and inside you can be 6 feet apart easily. And I've done it where I've been in the living room and the person is sat virtually like in their kitchen, and I've watched them sign. Or they may have me in the kitchen, and then they, I've done that, and it's easy to do when you're in a home. But when you're on a porch, that the porch itself is 6 feet wide, maybe even 8 feet wide, but only 4 feet deep. And then you're sitting there with two people, and if you're lucky enough to have a table and all of that. So I'm just trying to get an understanding within my own mind how doing that. And during the summertime it was easy to do, but wintertime, snowing, rainy, icy wind, all that kind of stuff, icy rain and wind, I'm like, that's gonna be a tough one. And I just want y'all comments, and y'all tell me how y'all think about it and feel about it. But I'm going back, and that's part of the reason why I got over here early, because I just finished calling my clients for the night and say, hey, do you have a problem with me coming inside? And the thing is, like I said, I don't mind trying to find an accommodation, but when you don't know and you get there and they're like, nah, you ain't coming in here. Or as one I did the other night, they had me in the garage, and they didn't want to close the garage door. And I'm like, okay, it's just as cold in the garage as it is outside. Can y'all close the garage door? And they was like, well, we sit out here with the garage door open and look at TV all. I'm like, okay, that's you, but I'm like, it would be nice. And the husband went ahead on and closed it. And I was like, all right, cool. And after about 10 minutes, it got better, way better. And it's not about being in the garage. I can be in a garage, but a lot of garages aren't insulated, so with that wind blowing through the garage and whipping around, it just made it colder. So I'm just sort of talking here, trying to work this out in my own head, and I guess I'm using YouTube and y'all to help me understand it. Again, I'm not saying, refuse assigning, none of that. No, you find a way to accommodate, but at the same time, the way I look at it also is, if I'm one of the top notaries, you're one of the top notaries, we're out here busting our butt, and then we get 3-4 signings in a row where we got to be outside in the cold and we get sick. That hurts us financially, as well as, and I'm just being honest, then that opens the door for a lot of these notaries who don't like to do stuff correct. And now these signing companies got to hire, and give these orders to these notaries who like to screw around and don't like to do stuff right anyway, and that hurts the whole industry, in my opinion. It hurts the industry because now your top notaries are sick. Then these other notaries who like to play around and don't take this industry and what we do serious, they get out there and they do all kind of little crappy stuff, and it just hurts us. It just doesn't look good overall. So in my mind, I'm just thinking, we got to find a way to be safe. I even thought about a pop-up tent, but having a pop-up tent, and I know it's possible, but in a pop-up tent, you're gonna be way less than 6 feet from each other. And I'm like, okay, that's a lot to be buying a pop-up tent, space heater, table, chairs, all of that. Get there extra early so you can set the tent up, even though you can flip it in it, throw it in the air, and it'll pop up. I'm like, that's a whole lot, and they're not gonna pay us any extra. So I'm like, okay, we got to find a way to make this happen. And to me, one way is, e-notary, doing the closings online. But I know not everybody's an e-notary, so then that hurts notaries' businesses. So I'm sitting here, I'm like, and maybe I'm overthinking this, and that's why I say, maybe if y'all can help me out, and this how I do. I sort of overthink things, and then I sort of back down. It's like, okay, how to make this thing work for everybody, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to figure out how to make this thing work so I'm not getting sick, you're not getting sick, the signers and all of that. And And right now it has me a little bit perplexed, because to me, this the simple solution. We follow the CDC guidelines. I wear mine, you wear yours. We come in, boom, 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 get the signing done. Which means then the signers got to, I won't say have to stop, but the thing, we got to read every single document from A to Z, ask questions, question this, question that, every little thing on here. What is the allonge? Help me understand that. Asking the notary all these questions after the notary already said they can't answer those things. I want to know this here. What is this annual interest rate meaning on the CD? People get that deep into it, which then prolongs the signing, which then prolongs your exposure. And to do that outside, that's tough. To take, a 35, maybe 45-minute closing and then push it and stretch it into an hour and a half, 2 hours. That's tough. Well, let me go. There's somebody calling me for the signing. Peace, y'all.